Okay, I believe we are live now. Awesome. We already have folks who are listening in. Good morning, Trish. Are you there?
I am. Good morning. Wonderful to be here
Awesome.
with you, Chairidee.
I promise you the pleasure is all mine. I promise that. Our listeners are in for a wonderful treat on today. I see my internet connection is a little bit choppy. We're in pretty inclement weather here. So hopefully everybody can hear me okay. But we are in for a treat today, ladies and gentlemen. We have an international speaker, author, sales giant in the studio today. I am happy to have none other than Trish Carr in the Mogul Life studios today. But before I bring Trish live, let me tell you a little bit about her. Trish is the author of the #1 best-selling Just a Conversation, What to Say and How to Say It in Business, sought after dynamic international speaker. Trish has shared the stage with some of the world's top business experts and thought leaders, including Chicken Soup for the Soul's Jack Canfield. Everybody knows who he is.
Mhm.
Purple Cow author and marketing guru Seth Godwin. Shark Tank's Kevin Harrington. He is all that. And Rich Dad Poor Dad author Sharon Lecter. I really look forward to meeting her soon. Trish is co-founder of the Women's Prosperity Network, a global movement for women coming together in collaboration to be massive forces of positive change through projects, products, and services. Now, here's how you need to get in contact with Trish, and I'll just go ahead and share this, and we'll share it again at the end
Sure.
of the interview. But you can reach Trish, right? If you need to fill a stage now, if you want to train leaders now, and of course you do in this environment, you want to contact Trish at trishcarr.com. And you can also find her at the Women's Prosperity Network.com or trish.com. I believe I have it all in there, Trish. So, without further ado, I am I'm happy to have you here today. Your bio speaks of your work. It speaks of the successes that you've enjoyed. So I know this morning our leaders are going to have an encounter with greatness. And I'm not just saying that, but I really am excited about them having access to your brain, to your acumen, to your thought processes. And so without further ado, we're going to just jump right in. So if you don't know, my name is Chairidee Smith. I am Ms. Mogul. I am the host of Power Talk. I am also a real estate investor CEO, author of Create Your Own Economy and The Roar of a Woman, and the soon to be launched real estate investing system right there, the Ultimate Wealth Elevation System. Terribly excited about that. So you know I was ready to talk to you about that. So Trish, I want to talk this morning because sales is all about formula, right? Success is predictable. And we hear that so often that failure is predictable, but we need to now turn that conversation. Success is predictable as well. So as someone who has enjoyed sales successes for decades, right? What has been your formula for maintaining sales success? And are you doing anything differently now?
That's a good question. First of all, I love formulas because A plus B always equals C. 1 and 1 will always equal 2. Something that's a repeatable formula is what's important in every aspect of business, and sales is no different. So for me, you've always heard the formula ABC in the sales environment, and it stands for generally what it means is always be closing.
Mm-hmm.
My formula is also ABC, but it's just a little bit different.
Okay.
Instead of always be closing, which seems so
cold,
so straightforward and right, it seems so, it's all about making the sale, it's all about getting it done, it's all about closing people. I don't like that energy. Mm-hmm. And since sales, like most things, is mindset oriented, your mindset has to be right. I don't like the mindset. It makes me feel like a used car salesman person. You know what I mean? So for me, ABC is always be curious.
That's good.
Always be curious, because when you're curious, one of the greatest downfalls that people have when it comes to sales is they're so entrenched in their own agenda. I have to make this sale. I'm making this phone call so I can sell this particular product or this particular service. I have to get 15 of them today. Because we come from our own agenda, we forget that it's not about us. It's about the customer. It's about the prospective customer. So when you're always curious, it means that you are always having conversation. Thus the name of my book, It's Just a Conversation. You're having conversations to uncover what's their life like, what's going on, what's their now experience. And now that I know those things about you, now I can make the right suggestion and the right offer, as opposed to the one that's following my agenda. So always be curious.
You bring up something that's really, I think it has been kind of the spinach. You know how Popeye has the spinach? I'm going somewhere with this. You know how when Popeye eats spinach, he buffs up and he becomes his bigger, better self?
Yes.
I think in this environment, really, this is the time for particularly women leaders to eat our spinach. And I'm going somewhere with it. I promise you I'm not just rambling. We have so detached ourselves from our emotional EQ and what makes us really dynamic people as women, right? Our abilities to communicate. Not that men don't communicate, but we communicate differently. And we tend to have an ability to communicate from the heart, to be empathetic, to understand a person's environment or situation. And as women, particularly as moms, I'll just speak for me, I'm always looking for the solution. If you tell me you have a problem, I'm listening with the intent to now become a solution for you. So I think in this environment, women are at a particular advantage because we just kind of innately come into relationships and conversations sometimes with the packaging of wanting to be what this person needs. And we always know that when you have supply and demand, you have sales success many times, right? When
Absolutely.
you can meet that person's demand with your supply, that's going to be a sale. And if you really connect at a deeper level past the always closing and really close with the always be curious, you now have what we love to call repeat business. Because there is an intrinsic trust now that is built because the client knows that you heard their needs. Am I on target with that?
Absolutely. If you're just using the same lines over and over again on every single person you talk to, you sound that way.
Yeah.
But when you're actually listening to what people's problems and challenges are, listening, like, you know, you have 2 of these and 1 of these, so you want to make sure you do it proportionately. It's about listening and asking open. All you need are a couple of really good open questions to get people to share with you. And if you're a woman and you're serving women, which most of my audience is women, although I certainly do work with men as well, women want to talk with you. So it's about you setting an open environment and actually being curious about what's going on with them. And then you stay in that mindset and you don't stay in the, well, let me pull out this. You know, I used to, when I worked in corporate America, one of the things I did was work in telemarketing. You know, those people who would call you at dinner time and you would be so annoyed and you would hang up on them or say rude things to them. And we had, and what they would do is when a customer, a prospective customer would say, well, I don't have time right now, or I don't have the money right now, they would press a button on their computer and it would say, here's the response to that. That kind of conversation gets you nowhere. So that's why telemarketing is, I mean, while it's still there and it's still happening, it's more of a marketing as opposed to a sale, transactional sale. It's not about having the right answer to pull out of your pocket that works with everyone. It's about having the answer that works with the person I'm talking with right now.
There you go. There you go. I love that, because here's what we know also about sustainable business. Most of our business comes from repeat customers, repeat clients. And if we're constantly in, and I'm going to say this statement with balance, right? Yes, we need to be always generating new business, new leads, but really cultivating the relationships of sustained clients and customers. Science, business, history, trends have told us historically we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck with those people who stay with us, who can repeat business with us, and then refer other folks that they trust to then come and do business with us. So, to your point, it's not about just this one size fits all cookie cutter approach to business. And honestly, Trish, I don't know about you, but I'm experiencing, and I'm saying I don't know about you, but I know you. You're experiencing a boom in business as well, right?
Yeah.
And those of us who know how to listen. See, the business environment has really changed, right? And so a friend of mine, I'll call her a friend now, Maria Simone, you probably know her.
Mm-hmm.
Maria Simone always says that the money has not left the planet, right? I love that statement. And I kind of combined it with create your own economy. They marry each other well. When we know how to meet the needs of our clients, we can now funnel the energy that we hear that word energy a lot, but we can funnel the momentum of money and wealth through us to us and then on to the next stopping point, if you will, because we're a conduit. We know how to listen. And it's really about drawing that in through our listening, meeting our clients' needs, and then circulating that right back around to them. Because here's what we know, Trish. After our clients spend time with us, aren't they more profitable?
Always.
So the money always goes back, right?
That's right. We create our own economy. And the key is not to wait. There's so many people who are waiting to see what happens, waiting for things to settle down. They're not going to settle down ever.
No.
We are always going to be in a place of movement. That's what change is, and it happens all the time. So one of the things I'm really proud of is that at Women's Prosperity Network, as soon as we saw what was coming, we immediately created a way to support business owners, entrepreneurs, and individuals in pivoting from where they are with the gifts and talents that they have to where they would now need to go because of the changes. In March, when we all started, we immediately created a program and an opportunity for people to figure out, what's my pivot? Where am I going to go next? And I'm so thrilled to say that I have seen amazing opportunities happening for our members and the people that we work with, because they realize you can't wait. You've got to do it now. That's key.
So that's a great segue then into our next question, because it's so much about mindset and paradigm. And we hear the colloquialism there about three people: those who make things happen, those who wait for things to happen, something to that effect, and then those who say, what happened? And you know, Trish, there's a real danger in being on the former, right? That former end. You always want to be in the position of setting the trend, setting the momentum, because when you set it, you can control it, you can leverage it, you can expand it. You have the opportunity to get the maximum return from it. That's the point we're thinking. So that's a great segue into the next question then. What do people most misunderstand about sales success?
Okay, so there's a few things. The first thing and the most important thing is what people around that I see from my experience, that may not be true for you in your experience, but what I see is people confusing marketing with sales.
Good point.
So people will say to me, well, I posted on Facebook, or I put an ad on Facebook, or I'm on Instagram, or I'm doing this, I'm doing what I'm doing. And all of those things are marketing. So the difference is marketing is attracting people to you. So yes, social media is excellent for that. Making contacts with people, excellent for that. Standing on stages and speaking, excellent for that. And sales is the transaction that happens after marketing. Sales is the telephone call. Sales is when you're standing on the stage, you offer them something to take everything you've taught them to the next level by purchasing something from you. Whether that's a $10 item or a $1,500 item, it doesn't matter. And I have a formula for that, actually, how you make an offer from the stage, depending on what you're offering. But it's the transaction, it's the signing, it's getting the credit card. And that happens, my friends, not online, not by mailing something, not by sending newsletters. That happens belly to belly, face to face, or on the telephone.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you're an online marketer, and that's a really specialized skill. Being able to sell big ticket items on your website, that's specialized, and it takes a very special system to do it. Most of the time, we're talking belly to belly, face to face, or on the telephone. And on the telephone is not texting, do you want to buy my thing? It's, hi, this is Trish. Let's have a conversation. I'm curious. What's going on in your world?
I hear you. I got you. Yeah. So what I hear you say is that marketing is the sales funnels, right? It's the leads generation. It's the social media. It's the opt-ins. It's all of that.
Right.
But when it comes to sales, right? Marketing is the funnel, but sales is really when it's person to person.
Yes.
Right.
And it could be on a webinar, or it could be standing on a stage, or it could be on Zoom, right? But it's you speaking to them, not you writing to them.
So sales is really about connecting. That's what I'm hearing you say. You have to really intrinsically, intentionally connect with the person you want to make the sale with. This really, and I hate to keep going back to the analogy, but it really is kind of a union of sorts, right? I commit to do this with you. I commit to do this with you. And together we create this beautiful thing. But it doesn't happen until we literally come together to make this happen, right? Both parties. And it really is about both parties being vested in the success of the union. Boy, now that's a different paradigm to sales now, isn't it?
Well, and that goes back to win-win. That goes back to I win, you lose. That never works.
Right.
How many times you sign up for something and you go, this isn't what I expected, and you end up canceling it. So that's win-lose. Win-win is this works for both of us. Yeah. And that's the goal every single time, is that it works for both of us.
So in saying that, though, I really want to just get one more layer in there. With the current environment being what it is now, how do we do that? How do we, with all of the social distancing, with the barriers that are being put between us in communication, in business, in social distancing, how do we really connect with our clients now? That's just one layer under where we're going, just one layer under there. How do we really connect?
So how you connect is you can still connect online, and you can do that by personalizing. So it's an email from me to you. It's not a dear blank and here's some stuff for everybody. Now you can have some stuff for everybody in your second paragraph, but your first paragraph is, Chairidee, it's so great to be in touch with you. I've missed talking to you. We haven't spoken since you went to Paris last year. I hope everything's well in your world and that your son is doing better, or whatever. Something that's more personal has to be in that first paragraph. Otherwise, it's just an email and I'm going to hit delete, delete, delete. So it's got to be personal. So you can do that. And then it's, I'd love to have a conversation, or it could even be, I'm inviting you to a webinar that I'm doing, and here's why I think it would be something you'd be interested in. And then you give reasons that it would be, and then they come to your webinar, and that's still personal. I might be speaking to 50 people on my webinar, but it's still personal. Because when I put together my choreographed presentation, and that's the key, my friends, is there's a choreography to showing people why they need what you're talking about, what's going to happen for them when they have it, and then inviting them to say yes to themselves so that they can have their desires fulfilled and their challenges gone. When you do that in a webinar, that's personal. They're seeing you, they're talking with you. So you can invite people to those types of things. It doesn't have to be a phone call. But you've got to do your best to personalize as best you can. Now, yes, you can do massive mailers and you can invite people to that webinar. And that's, once they're there on the webinar, then it's a personal, then it's a conversation. And you invite them to your conversation. And let me tell you, when you're on those webinars or when you're doing those Zooms, you've got to open the chat and let them talk to you. You've got to create interaction. The more you create interaction, the more likely they are to say, yes, I like this person. And that's the first thing. I have to like you before I want to buy from you. Secondly, I have to trust you.
Good.
And there's specific ways that you build trust simply in a webinar or in the days when we used to stand on stages, which I know is going to happen again.
Yeah.
You know, there's specific ways to do that. So it's about having a presentation formula that works for you. So did that answer your question?
It did actually, because we have to, and the point that I'm making is we have to be really creative now in how we're engaging. So how we did business in times past don't necessarily fit the current environment. And for me, it's really pulling on me to be more empathetic, to really understand what my clients are going through, because we don't always get the benefit of knowing their backstory. So we have to ask those questions. How is business going now? How can I bet? And here is something I get, I hear a lot of leaders kind of become squeamish with, but it's a term that I use often. How can I best serve you? Now, most leaders would think that's not how I position myself in business. But if you think about it, it really is a service that we're offering. Our clients don't have to do business with us. They don't have to contract with us. We have some pretty high ticket items, right? And they're spending lots and lots of money with us. They're trusting us with their money. Money has a lot to do with lifestyle. So it's not just about the exchange of money. They're exchanging a part of themselves, their history, their background with us in each transaction. So I think it's incumbent, in my humble opinion, to now reposition ourselves, if we will, in leadership. So it's not just about, I am the expert, I can meet your need, though I am. It's expanding that conversation. How can I serve you? How can I make you better? How can I make your business run smoother? Right. How can I help you with developing a system or some logistics that will remove the burdens from your shoulders so that you can now go homeschool your child?
Right.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, you are absolutely right. What you just did by saying, how can I do some logistics for you that will do this? A lot of times people will say, how can I serve you? And the response will be, I don't know, or nothing. I don't need anything is usually what you'll get, because nobody ever wants to admit they need help with anything, right? So being able to, when they say, I don't know, or they say, not really, then you can say, is it okay? Let me ask you a couple questions. What's going on for you logistically in terms of your delivery that you might like to see better? So you've got to have a couple of questions, and that's exactly what you just did very naturally, Chairidee. You put in the example. You've got to give people an example of what it is you can do for them. You know, I'll never forget this. A few years ago, a friend of mine lost his wife. And I called him to say hello, to just give him my sympathies. And I said to him, what can I do for you? How about if I made some business phone calls for you and handled a few things? Or perhaps I can just make some outreach calls to let people know that your wife passed away. Or can I go to the grocery store for you? Or is there anything that, you know, that you do on a regular basis that's falling down? And he said to me, Trish, you know what? He said, everybody says, what can I do to help? And I have no idea. He said, I'm so happy you told me those things, because now I know what to say. Yes, you can help me with such and such. So you've got to help people. You can't just ask that open question and expect them to know what the best way for you to serve them is. So I love that you did that naturally, organically, because that's the way you want to approach.
It's about being the expert. Even though we're serving, it's still about serving from a place of expertise. So for all of those who will be taking notes, serve from a place of expertise. It's still service, but it's service at the highest level, right? That's good stuff. All right. So Trish.
Yes. Yes.
Expanding the conversation, and we're running out of time just a little bit, but there's so much meat on the bones that I
knew that would happen.
Yeah.
I knew that.
I did too. That's okay, because I know I'm going to have you back. There is never enough time. But what is the profile now for a successful sales leader? And in asking that question, I came across this quote, and I want you just to expound upon it. This is from a book written by Dennis Kimbrough, right? And it's called The Wealth Choice Secrets, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires. And he says in the book, wealth and abundance are not measured in terms of possessions and money, but in relationships, values, knowledge, and action. What we do, not what we know. If we want to walk among the financial elite, the first step of your journey is to develop, here's where I want to put my head, a wealth consciousness, for it is in the depths of our mind that your vast treasure resides. So with that, what is the mindset? What is the profile of a successful sales leader now?
Okay, I love that quote. I love that quote, by the way. It is about having a success mindset, and a leader is out in the forefront. A leader is speaking to groups of people.
Oh, that's good.
That good. For me is the number one skill that's required of leadership. Being able to, and sales, the number one sales skill is being able to speak to groups of people, because you only have so much time, right? So if I want to have a conversation one-on-one, I'm going to be doing a lot of those. But if I can do a webinar with 50 people, that's going to maximize my time. Not only that, there's a group energy. When you speak to groups of people, what you get with group energy is exponentially greater than when you're having a one-on-one conversation. So I think right now the mindset and the skill that all of us as leaders and who are driven, our revenues are driven by sales, is being out and speaking, whether that's doing teleclasses, webinars, Zooms, or speaking on stages, which is going to be happening again soon enough. It's out there and knowing how to do it. It's not just enough. You've got to learn to maximize that opportunity. You've got to learn to, because how many times, if you speak and you leave the stage and people go, oh, that was great, Trish. That was really good. Well, that feeds my ego, but it certainly doesn't feed my tummy or pay my mortgage or enable me to make a bigger difference for people. For me, I think it is criminal when I engage people and I show them what's possible for them, and then I don't offer them a way to do it.
Oh, okay. So in the speakeasy clubs, when we hear something we like, we do like this.
Oh, I love that. Love that.
Let's go though with that. If I have the solution and I don't offer it, it's criminal.
It is.
I see a need. The people came to hear me because they have a need. They obviously desire something I have.
Yes.
And for me to withhold that and not extend the offer, not give them the opportunity to have their needs met, that's criminal.
Yeah.
Come on, like, duh.
Yeah.
But how many times do we see it, Trish, where
all
we
the time
offer? I mean, the room is just right for a life-changing moment, and we see a speaker or a presenter fail to extend that opportunity. And I see it more so with women. For some reason, we get choked up. It gets right here when we're about to ask for the money or we're asking for the sale. It's like, you can get, and we'll automatically default to a payment plan, or we'll automatically default to
a discount. Oh, but for you, you don't have to do that. Yeah, there's all kinds of strategies around that I work with people on. There's 3 basic reasons that people get that thing in their throat, and I have a whole conversation I can have with you about that. The bottom line is, though, sometimes you don't feel comfortable going, okay, now I'm at the end of my thing and here's my offer. Because when you do that, it sounds kind of salesy. So the key is to understand how to position yourself and your services all throughout your talk. So by the time they get to the end, it doesn't feel like you're bringing in a helicopter and dropping it on them.
I know, right?
So even if you can't say it, it doesn't, you may not be able to, so many times I'm told you can't make an offer. But let me tell you, by the time we're finished with my talk, they know what I offer, usually how much it costs, how I do it, what day it happens. That goes all the way through your talk. And that's what my free gift is about, is to help to learn the choreography of that. Because that's what it is.
And it's actually called the speaker's profitizer.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I'm super excited about that. All of the listeners today who tune in and who post at the bottom of this segment, you get Trish's free gift. So if you're a speaker, this is invaluable to you. However, if you're just in the business of sales, you're going to have to do presentations. So you're going to need the skill set.
Exactly.
It's just where we are. So you can't say, I'm not a speaker, I don't need that. If you are in the business of business, you have to be able to communicate effectively. And there is a formula to effective communication. You get that when you talk to Trish. So for all of our leaders today who are interested, no, let me change that verbiage. You are interested. We already know you are. Just post below and get the gift. Do yourself and your business a favor. Get it.
Well, let me tell you, this formula is a profitizer for presenting. So it works when you're doing things in writing, such as an email or a web page. It works when you're having a one-on-one conversation with someone, and it works when you're speaking to more than one person in a group. And I'm happy to give it to everyone because I want you to get better and better and better and make the difference you're supposed to be making in this world. You know, if we all want to make an impact, your best way to make an impact is to build this skill.
Absolutely.
So I have a. So you don't want to give it. You don't want to give it out now.
We'll give it out. How about that? I'll post it in the links. We will give it out right now. How about that?
Yeah, I love that.
Awesome. So, you know, Christmas in July is a big thing for those who celebrate Christmas. It's a big thing. So we'll just call this Christmas in July, right?
Yay!
You get Trish's offer. And for those who are interested in a consultation and not interested, I keep saying that you need the consultation, right? You want to drive your sales, want to drive your business. You need a strategy for the current market. Go ahead and text MOGULU to 26786. I will give you that kind of overview of where you are now. And then we move you directly into a strategy, right? So whether it's selling real estate, whether it's selling your products and services, whether it's selling your courses, whatever it is, you need a strategy for that. I have an answer for you. So text MOGULU at 26786 and we will get you moving in the upwards trajectory. Now, Trish, as always, I figured we'd go over our time, but that's okay. This is our last one. We're going to have the series. We're going to have to do a series, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to have to. We're going to have to, because this isn't enough. But in closing, seriously, and this is where I really want you to dig deep and provide the sage expert, right? We're talking to the creme de la creme. Let's paint the scenario, right? That businesses are in the locker room with you right now. So many small businesses are in the fight of their lives for sustainability, to just exist after this. We all have been watching the news, and so we've seen some of what is happening in our economic market. If you had the opportunity to coach America's best and brightest leaders, and they're on the ropes right now, and they need to hear something that's going to bring the fight back, that's going to inspire them to reach for those sales goals, to push their teams. We have small businesses now who may have folks who are on the payroll, and they may not be sure of what the payroll or what the future looks like. As a leader, how do I inspire my team to move forward? What is the advice you give for that business owner who's needing to hear something now to put the fight back in them and to go reach those goals?
Okay, so first thing, it's a two-pronged approach. First thing is I want you as the leader to revisit your vision and your mission. What is it? What is it that caused you to create this endeavor in the first place? Revisit that, and you as the leader must inspire yourself, set yourself aflame again to feel feel that vision. So Women's Prosperity Network was created so that we could inspire women business owners to make a massive positive difference in the world. I have to feel that. That's the first thing. Second thing is to inspire the people who are on your team, whether they work for you directly or they're your team members and out there as contractors, is to remind them of their successes. Remind them of the people, and the more individual you can get, the better. Remind them of the challenge that a particular customer had before they came to you and how your service or product changed their life.
That's good.
And you've got to just share those stories, because those individual stories will light the flame under your team members to do the same for other people. That is without a doubt the best way to get people to be intrinsically motivated to want to continue going.
That's good. That's good. And so if I could add to that, that was so good, Trish. So what I heard you say is revisit the vision, right? Make sure it's before you, and then get the buy-in from the team. Make sure they know why they're there and the impact that they're making on the market. And then I'm going to go back and revisit something we said at the top of the segment. Have the formula in place. Know what the end goal is. That formula is going to always lead you to what Jeremiah calls Jeremiah 29:11. I'm quoting the scripture, the expected end. What's the target? What's the goal? And when we know that the summit, the top, the zenith is the goal, we inspire them. But now we have a strategy to get there.
Right.
It's the formula. It's the day in, day out, grinding it out, being committed to the process, being committed to the logistics, even when you don't feel inspired or what, just being committed to the process. And then as a leader, having that effective communication to continue to remind them, this is why we're here and this is why we do what we do. We couldn't do it without you all. Trish, we're flat out of time, and we've been out of time.
Thank you. I know we could go on forever. Thank you all for sticking with us. I know we went over than we normally do. I appreciate you. I hope that you picked up a couple of golden nuggets that you can take action on today. My suggestion is that you pick one thing from this conversation and you put it into action today.
So tell us one more time, how can people get in contact with you as a speaker, as a consultant, and with Women's Prosperity Network?
Well, easy. You can either direct message me through Facebook at Trish Carr, that's my name, or you can email me at trish@womensprosperitynetwork.com is really the easiest way, or at trishcarr.com. So let me give you again, go to Facebook and send me a direct message at Trish Carr, TrishCarr, or you can email me at trish@womensprosperitynetwork.com. And I invite you to go to that website and check out the opportunities for you to make connections and to grow yourself and your business so that you can make an even more massive difference in the world. Thank you, Chairidee, for having me today.
Trish, I'm all the way to the East Coast. Mwah. You're fabulous. Thank you so much for your time. And don't forget, we have the free offer from Trish. You'll have that link below. Get it, access it now. I don't care what business you're in, you need that gift. Thank you, Trish. I'm going to ask you all to hang out here with me online for a couple of minutes. Trish, I love you. Thank you so much for this time. Thank you for divesting of yourself with our listeners today. Blessings.
My pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So you all, that was Trish Carr. I know it was all kinds of fabulous. Listen, take advantage of that free offer that Trish provided for you. I've had the opportunity to speak with Trish, and I know we'll be working more in the future together. You don't want to miss that opportunity. Now, I want to speak specifically to you all who are in the business of real estate. I am really pushing now. You heard Trish and I talk about the ability to communicate effectively, to call all of your team together, to inspire you all. This is an opportunity, particularly for those of you who are in real estate, to make massive wealth in real estate investing. I can show you how to do just that. If you have not done so already, go ahead and text me MOGULU at 26786 for your sales or your strategy session. I'll be happy to give you a map and a plan on how you can start using the strategies that I know that are right for this environment for you to make massive wealth. Also, many of you may not know, I've recently launched a new business and cause, and it is the Cornucopia Project. I am raising capital right now to buy land to eradicate food deserts in urban areas as well as rural areas. If you want to learn how to build a business and do well in the environment, right? Business and cause meet. Go ahead and text me that you're interested in that as well. And you can also put that in the comment below. Now, Trish talked about this being Christmas in July, my final offer. I am giving away my tips, my 5 strategies on wholesaling in this environment for free. And it includes a checklist to help you begin to formulate your own formula and system in real estate investing. If you want the 5 steps to wholesaling success in this environment, text right here, MOGULU at 26786, or put your comments below, and I will make sure that you get that as well. My time is out for now. I'll talk to you all soon. Another Power Talk coming your way. You can create your own economy.